No, I'm not joking. It's not some, wow, this is insanely super difficult kind of challenge either. New Zealand is a, frankly, well, okay, unintentional, but very broken and quite fun, unique way of playing the game. And if you want a true single-player City Skylines experience, well, this is what I'm going to have for you today. But before we get into the video, just a quick bit stop to say that a like would be appreciated and a subscription would be amazing if you haven't already. See, turns out the secret subrace against Hollowbean isn't progressing perfectly according to plan, since, unlike my calculations where he would stop uploading and do absolutely nothing, he's like uploading videos and stuff and his sub count's going up. Oops. But, much like the Italian army in Greece, we are fully committed to this operation. So I guess if we just power on through, I'm sure we'll achieve our inevitable victory. Anyway, let's get into the game. Right, so here we are in EU4, and just so we're on the same page, just to make sure, because it's not usually included in most maps, but for those that are unaware, New Zealand, if you go to the Australia bit, that's below Asia, that's here. New Zealand is this. This is the New Zealand bit. Now, it's a bit hard to center it, you have to kind of like zoom in and actually get here, but yes, this is New Zealand. We have 2 uncolonized provinces, and then you have this set of islands here. It got content during Leviathan, and then a bunch of that content was very broken because Leviathan, and it got partially fixed. And this is the reason that we'll be partaking in peak New Zealand gameplay. Before we do get into this though, I do also want to clarify this isn't something super major that I discovered last night experimenting with the magic of EU4 gameplay. This is actually already a somewhat known thing among the EU4 tryhard community and the, shall we say, MP enjoyers as well. As in, it would have been very funny in my No America nation to seed someone onto New Zealand, but I specifically didn't because of the things that you can abuse with New Zealand and what I'm going to be showing you today. But as always, there's no rules in single player, so go have fun. And very clearly, no, the AI also doesn't abuse this because it's the AI, doesn't realize it can do this. But yes, anyway, what are we going to do? Well, I'm going to recommend, out of everyone here, you select these chaps over here. If you're a bit more worried about maintaining naval priority, because you'd be doing a lot of wars in the selective single-player experience, I'd actually recommend these chaps instead. But there's a very good reason I'm going to recommend Ti Tau Ihu of the Waitaha. Yeah, I've no idea. Anyway, they all have the same EV ideas, and even if you form New Zealand, you actually keep the same EV ideas, so don't worry about forming New Zealand or anything. The setup is complete once you've selected the nation. Although, because you have a randomized ruler here, if there is one thing I would recommend is restarting until you get a nice one. But to be honest, even if you get a 0-0-0, it's still absolutely viable to do the strategy, and that's kind of the concerning part, because you're not going to be getting most of your monarch points from your ruler. But if there is one trait I would recommend for your ruler that would be very strong for you, it's going to be the calm trait. For minus 10% stab cost. You don't even need it, is what I will say. Anyway, enough spoilers, let's get into the lobby. Right, here we are, let's check what ruler we got. We got a 2-1-4 Conqueror. Ironic, we're not going to be doing any conquering, but yeah, feel free to restart until you get a nice one. Rivals, etc. really doesn't matter, but one of the things you're going to notice is that migration is possible. And it's possible to us because we actually have places to migrate to. And normally what happens is you migrate, you gain monarch points, and then the nations that are around here can kind of like shuffle around and also migrate down here. But you can just not migrate. Now, unlike the Native American tribes that if they don't migrate, they produce devastation on the provinces for just existing, you don't. The only reason you would migrate is migrating. When you click on the migrate button, gives you 50 of each monarch points and then gives you a 5-year cooldown on migrating. However, well, there's nothing stopping you using the forced migration CB. And for those that are unaware, this is completely and utterly broken because the forced migration CB allows you to show strength. What does that mean? This means that, unlike Siberian councils, which are forced to only have 1 or 2 people that can show strength and basically trap to do the forced migration CB farming monarch points, you, instead of having 3 targets, have a literal northern island full of targets, more specifically 6 targets that you can farm for the show strength. And, unlike the Siberian councils, which, granted, have minus 33% stab costs, you'd think they'll be great at being able to truce break and hence farm an infinite amount of monarch points, these chaps are Tengri, which is normally a better religion than Animist, which is what you are. But with Animist, if you have +3 admin ruler skill, so maybe do bird for that one, and +1 stab, you're able to do religious sacrifices for minus 20% stab cost until the end of the game. As well as, of course, minus 20% stab cost from here, and if your first idea, which you'll be able to farm loads of monarch points from constantly showing strength, you're going ahead and grab administrative ideas, not for the core creation cost, because who takes admin ideas for core creation cost? No, for the 25% stab cost from stable government. You'll then be able to combine that with the, well, 25% here, your third idea set of minus 20%, and the minus 20% from the decision for an already concerning minus 65%. And then when you make your clergy estate, which you absolutely have here, loyal, you'll be able to get this to minus 10, so minus 75%. And yeah, you can see where this is going. A calm ruler puts you at minus 85%, but with minus 75%, you're already profiting every truce break. And that's kind of the plan. The reason I actually recommended these chaps is A, again, you block everyone else off, and this is the best province out of everyone here to dev, because everyone else kind of has not the best trade goods. Probably the tropical wood is the second best option, but otherwise you have, what, fish, some salt, some naval supplies, not great stuff, but you have iron followed by coal if you get that far. But it's probably the best trade good in this space, and you can go build your Dwarven Polled wannabe New Zealand gaming city on it. It's also a hill, which is not great, plus 25% local dev cost, but it has the secondary positive effect of, well, not being an Arctic, so it's actually quite cheap to dev relative compared to the Siberian tribes, so you can again build to the moon. If we disable Terra Incognita, or sorry, re-enable, we can see that we can also, well, see the actual Polynesian archipelago, which does mean we actually know where our home trade node is, so we can even collect in it. And if you want to go and turn this game into a naval game, you absolutely can. If you want to go colonial, you absolutely can. Frankly, the world is your oyster, because you're practically playing single player all the way to 1821. Do whatever you want in this case. Very unique, very City Skylines gaming, and you can extort loads and loads of monarch points from everyone else here by just asking them to migrate and then showing strength. Just to prove the case that I'm not making this up, you're able to declare war on people to force them to migrate. Let's quickly up to speed. And our trade research is heretical immediately. Thank you, Paradox. That's actually incredible. Jesus Christ, I'm pausing you immediately hit me with a bad event. It just knows I'm recording, so I wanted me to complain. Anyway, once we've hit the 11th of December, as you can see, okay, they've had a couple chaps. We're able to go ahead and declare on the force war. It's going to call in 2 people. So I found when I was testing this, you can just cross anyway. The AI does not calculate the fact that it's got enough light ships to stop you. But if you want naval priority, this is it. This is enough. You'll need 40 sailors, so you do wait a bit. But building 1 galley is enough. Everyone here starts with light ships and transports, and this is inland seas, so it's absolutely fine. If you're struggling in the navy, start with one of the more inland chaps like here. And I have to say, I recommend these chaps because I think their flag is quite cool, but your flag's also cool. Got like a bit of a skull motif. Anyway, to demonstrate my point, whether they're rivaled or friendly or whatever, you can go ahead and force migration. And that's it. If we take a look at these chaps here, we're able to go into them, and we're going to be able to show strength them for 100 of each monarch points. Thank you, Paradox. Very cool. This is absolutely stupid and absolutely broken, and because they tend to ally each other even before you're doing the truce break cycle, you're able to truce reset because they're going to ally some random people that you'll be able to watch over there and piece them out for a white piece to get a 5-year truce instead of 15-year truce. So yeah, it's stupid. Your actual ideas aren't great. You pick up a relatively unique harsh treatment cost if you ever do want to harsh treatment for some. I mean, who the hell are you harsh treating, I'll be honest. And you get recruitment time, which is unique, but it's not good. There's some sailors for you and some colonial range. The colonial range is probably actually kind of useful if you're getting colonial. You get some transfer true faith. You get the stab cost. That's actually very important for this. You get some morale of armies. That's neat. You get some fort maintenance. Great. You get a leader shock pip. I guess that's something. And you actually pick up some CCR with some legitimacy. That's not bad at all, but okay. And finally, of course, you get some prestige. Are these ideas great? No. Is it improved by forming this formable? Absolutely not. You don't even get new ideas. This does literally nothing as a cosmetic change. You do have Paradox Leviathan missions. They're at least fixed in the sense that they work, but I mean, this hammer guy, sorry, it's more of an axe. This axe guy shows up 3 times, for example, so bear that if you will. And the hacker guy is assembling the army while also doing the hacker, so you know, there you go. And for a mission that says gain monarch points, it does not want you to gain monarch points. It wants you to gain prestige and stability, and then gives you government reform progress. Thank you, Paradox. Very cool. It also, again, reuses the icon a bunch of times. And the Polynesian Triangle in the center of trade, it's a Leviathan mission tree. And look, the mana point is back again. And the shipbuilding and oceanic peoples, okay, you get the point. Yeah, it's a Leviathan mission tree, and it wasn't really fixed because no one plays in New Zealand. So in this case, you can abuse it to be quite strong, because it also, of course, prints monarch points. Thank you for 200 mil points, and Sunset Invasion give you another free show strength. I will caution you though, be careful with centralizing the realm. It does give you a Polynesian Kingdom tier 1 reform, which stops you being able to do this, so make sure you centralize once you've farmed enough monarch points. Otherwise, have fun. You can go do Ambernaut Dwarf gameplay in New Zealand in vanilla. And if you're wondering if these 2 provinces have anything good colonization-wise, like maybe if you can find cloves here or something, no, these are both terrible. You can get fur, naval supplies, fish, or grains. Or you can go and get, you won't believe it, wool, livestock, fish, naval supplies, grain, or salt. Yeah, no, these 2 are frankly probably just not even worth colonizing unless you really want something to really just dev once you've devved this to like 60. And the nice thing with this B9 is construction time minus 20% means that if you keep expanding infrastructure for local construction time reduction, you'll eventually be able to get this to like 0 construction time, so be able to build things instantly, which is cool. So again, yeah, if you want the super tall city skylines experience where you're constantly going to declare wars for free monarch points, this is it. Enjoy. And I do find that, thematically at least, it's a bit less depressing than being in Siberia. In fact, I'd avoid being in Siberia even if there's infinite monarch points there, since you are, in Siberia. With that all said, though, that is going to be all the time I have for today. Thank you very much for watching, with a special thank you to my channel members, especially Ark, Solar, W Haste, Solemon, Star72, Lozendica, Nick Fassbender, Namhatan, Nick Huss, The Awesome Rabbit, Best Pro Gaming, Grandma Flavia, Connor, Andre Zalbuk, Deki, Sov, Mobkiller, Anthony35, AC Napo, Glorious Leader, Zerkis, Mr. Koomshok, Yukata, and Danry.